A major development in the January 6 investigation as committee members subpoena House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and 4 other House Republicans. The panel is looking into all 5 men and their contact with the White House in the hours before the attack. Nikole Killion has the details from Capitol Hill.
Tonight, the top Republican in the House, Kevin McCarthy, not backing down after being slapped with a subpoena along with 4 GOP lawmakers to appear by the end of the month before the House Select Committee investigating the Capitol attack.
My view on the committee has not changed. They're not conducting a legitimate investigation.
The rare move comes after McCarthy and the other members rejected the panel's request for voluntary testimony several months ago. Chairman Benny Thompson said in a statement, "We're forced to take this step to help ensure the committee uncovers facts concerning January 6th.
What makes you think they're going to comply with the subpoena?
What we feel is part of our investigative steps that we needed to take this responsibility. We don't take any pride in doing this.
The committee says it believes the lawmakers have relevant knowledge about the events leading up to the riot, pointing to Leader McCarthy and Congressman Jim Jordan's conversations with the former president that day.
I've spoken to the president. I asked him to talk to the nation to tell him to stop this.
Citing Alabama's Mo Brooks speech at the rally on the Ellipse.
Today is the day American patriots start taking down names and kicking.
And alleging Congressman Scott Perry and Andy Biggs were involved in discussions related to efforts to overturn the 2020 election.
Which is an attempt to go after political enemies instead of trying to get at the truth.
This is proof positive that this is about headlines, all right?
Committee members say if they don't comply, they may explore other options.
This is not Parcheesi. This is not checkers. This is a serious investigation.
The Select Committee is set to begin public hearings next month. So far, they're planning to hold 8, although they've not announced who their witnesses will be. Lilia?
Nikole Killion, thank you. Now, CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins me now for more. Scott, it's great to see you in this gigantic screen today. I want to start off with just how significant is it that we're seeing these subpoenas issued to sitting members of Congress? What strikes me is how rare is this? I mean, they're subpoenaing their own colleagues. What do you think is the message that they're hoping to send?
In some ways, Lilia, it's really unprecedented, and it's a provocative thing to do, to subpoena your own colleagues, your own legislative branch colleagues. There's not an immediate expectation that these 5 legislators are going to now immediately sit down and talk. They've been pretty clear before the subpoenas and after the subpoenas. They believe the January 6th Select Committee is a politicized, unauthorized committee. In fact, Congressman Brooks calls it a witch hunt. Doesn't really change or move the meter toward getting these individuals to testify. But here's the thing, Lilia. They didn't just issue subpoenas today. They issued a press release announcing their interest in talking to these 5 lawmakers, explaining why. And I'll go through it quickly. Mo Brooks, the Alabama congressman, gave that fiery speech January 6th. Jim Jordan and Scott Perry from Ohio and Pennsylvania, respectively, sent text messages to Mark Meadows ahead of the 6th about plans to maneuver after the election. Andy Biggs of Arizona talked about pardons for Trump's claims about the election and efforts to overturn it. And then, of course, there's Kevin McCarthy, who the committee says talk to Donald Trump on January 6th, before January 6th, after January 6th. The committee laid down a marker, Lilia. They want to talk to these 5, and they explained why. It's almost as if they're trying to move the meter and move hearts and minds before the public hearings begin, regardless of whether these 5 sit down with them.
You know, what's interesting is the committee said it was forced to issue these subpoenas after the members refused to voluntarily participate in the investigation. We heard them calling it just something for grabbing headlines. We're hearing the Democrats say, well, you know, or the committee say it's just another step. I mean, how enforceable are these subpoenas, seeing as something that we really haven't seen before?
Well, we've seen other subpoenas issued by this committee, and we've seen others defy them. Rudy Giuliani hasn't sat down with this committee. He's passed his deadline for his deposition. Mark Meadows, the former chief of staff for President Trump, defied the subpoena. In fact, the U.S. House recommended him for criminal prosecution. Steve Bannon, the campaign aide for Donald Trump, defied the subpoena. The House recommended him for criminal prosecution. Only one of those 3 is being prosecuted right now by the Justice Department. That's Steve Bannon. So when we're talking about former executive branch aides or private citizens like Steve Bannon, the Justice Department has a review. For legislators, it's not even clear it's possible or legally tenable to get a contempt of Congress recommendation against a fellow member of the House. So it's unclear, Lilia, how much leverage this committee has over their colleagues and whether they really believe this is going to end at the end of the rainbow with an interview.
And I'm sure it's going to really raise tensions as if they weren't hot enough. Scott, I can't let you go before you go. We learned today that federal prosecutors have launched a grand jury investigation into former President Trump's handling of records that ended up at his Mar-a-Lago estate, his residence. What have you heard about this? What can you tell us about this?
The New York Times is reporting the Justice Department has begun a criminal investigation or an investigation of some sort as to the removal of White House records that ended up at Mar-a-Lago after the Trump presidency ended, records that should have been with the National Archives. We knew already from our CBS News reporting the House Oversight Committee is investigating that as well. That there were boxes of records that were supposed to be with the archives that were instead at Mar-a-Lago has raised a lot of concerns in a lot of different places. The Justice Department investigation would be perhaps the most prominent and salient investigation, but just the latest investigation to how those records ended up in Florida when they should have been with the National Archives.
And, similar to what we were talking about before, is this something that you see getting prosecuted or something that could get the former president in any kind of trouble?
So the Justice Department is stubborn and consistent with its decision never to speak about an investigation, confirming or denying, or until an investigation is closed. So we won't know the results of what an investigation yields until they close it. To be clear, Justice Department investigations are often measured in months or years, not days or weeks. So any satisfying answer could be months or years away.
All right. Well, Scott MacFarlane, thank you. It's always good seeing you.
Thank you.